Today, I will review the film Avatar: The Way of Water. More than 10 years after the occasions of the main film, the film starts with Jake Tarnish portraying his humble and tranquil life as head of the Omaticaya group and raising a family with his significant other Neytiri, which incorporates his children Netiam and Loic and his little girl too. His embraced little girl Kiri brought into the world from effortlessness. Augustine's lethargic Navi symbol, and a human kid named Bug, the child of Miles Quaritch, who was brought into the world on Pandora yet couldn't be shipped to Earth in cryostasis as a baby. While Jake can acknowledge Bug as an embraced child, Neytiri is suspicious of him given his human starting points. Nonetheless, every one of the youngsters blend and mingle well with one another, including Insect, whom Kiri is tender with despite the fact that he is a human. While Jake can acknowledge Bug as an embraced child, Neytiri is suspicious of him given his human starting points. Nonetheless, every one of the youngsters blend and mingle well with one another, including Insect, whom Kiri is tender with despite the fact that he is a human. Among the fresh debuts in the boat is Colonel Quaritch, who has been cloned into a Navi body and with his recollections transferred from before his passing. Accordingly, Quaritch can't recall his end on account of Jake, however, is simply ready to remember the occasions previously and his wrathful mission to wipe out Jake, to keep the RDA from taking advantage of Pandora once more. Jake drives an essential guerrilla activity against the RDA supply lines, debilitating them. In one of the tasks, Loic, who resists Netiam and is anxious to show what him can do as a Navi fighter, attempts to help Jake in fight yet is injured. Jake protects and trains him to not imperil his own well-being by being crazy that evening, while at the same time keeping an eye on his injuries. Neytiri serenely reminds Jake to be not excessively unforgiving with Loic, to which Jake communicates his anxiety as a dad for the security of his youngsters. In the interim, the retaliatory strike on the RDA supply lines doesn't agree with Quaritch, who starts a pursuit mission to kill Jake. During a lively endeavor, Jake's youngsters alongside Insect investigate further into the Rhine forest. Unbeknownst to them, in the interim, the retaliatory strike on the RDA supply lines doesn't agree with Quaritch, who starts a pursuit mission to kill Jake. During a lively endeavor, Jake's youngsters alongside Insect investigate further into the Rhine forest. Unbeknownst to them, however, Bug is taken by Quaritch, who remembers him as his child. On board the boat, the RDA attempts to force data about Jake from Insect, whom declines. Evolving procedure, Quaritch tends to Bug as his child, and furthermore to make sense of more about the Navi in return for his opportunity on his side. Despite the fact that unhelpful and uninformed about Quaritch's genuine mission, Bug shows Quaritch Navi culture. Quaritch is additionally effectively ready to tame an Ekran flying animal as his vehicle. Realizing the risk, Bug's information on his whereabouts postures to their security, and furthermore to stay away from another calamity. Jake persuades a hesitant Neytiri and his family to oust themselves from the Omaticaya tribe and retreat toward the eastern seaboard of Metkina, a coral reef island whose faction and way of life is adjusted to Pandora's oceanic environment. Jake gives his central mantle to his replacement and passes on altogether to Metkina. Once showed up, they are welcomed by the family boss Tanawari and his better half Runnel, who is far-fetched of them at first. In any case, Jake makes sense of their circumstance and they are consented to remain and given cover. Despite the fact that a few tribesmen disparage Jake and his youngsters for their hereditary human legacy, the family learns the methods of the reef individuals, gaining the appreciation of them. Kiri is captivated with the oceanic existence of Metkina and fosters a profound bond with the ocean and its animals, while Loic gets to know Syria, the girl of faction boss Tanawari, and his better half Runnel. While adjusting to their new climate, Loic gets into a battle with Syria's sibling Outing when he pokes a rough fun at Kiri and him of their blended human genealogy. Jake scolds his child for his way of behaving. At Jake's demand, Loic gets back to apologize to Outing and his companions. Notwithstanding, they captivate him to an outing into the region of a risky ocean hunter, the Akula, and leave him abandoned in vengeance. The Akula attempts to go after Loic. Be that as it may, Loic is saved by and gets to know Payakan, a Tulkan, a savvy and pacifistic cetacean species whom the Metkina think about their otherworldly family. Loic can speak with Payakan through marking and eliminates an old spearhead from the monster's right balance. Upon his re-visitation of Medkina, boss Tanawari, who became mindful of Aonung's deceiving of Loic, requests that the previous apologize to Loic. In any case, Loic assumes the fault himself, winning Aonung's fellowship. He is additionally informed that Payakan is an untouchable among his species. In the meantime, out traveling to a branch off of the Tree of Spirits, Kiri joins with it to meet her mom, yet experiences a savage seizure. She is mended by Runnel. However, when Jake calls Norm Spellman and Max Patel for help, Quaritch can follow them to the archipelago where the reef individuals reside. Carrying Bug with him, he lays hold of a whaling vessel which is hunting tokens to reap their mind compounds for making hostile to maturing cures. Quaritch starts to fiercely scrutinize the native clans about Jake's area. Bombing that, he arranges the whaling team to wantonly kill the tokens to draw Jake out. Loic intellectually connects with Payakan and discovers that the token was projected out on the grounds that he conflicted with the methods of his species and went after the whalers who killed his mom. At the point when the Medkina learn of the Tulkun butchers, Loic takes off to caution Payakan, trailed by his kin, Syria and Aonung. They find Payakan being pursued by the whalers, and Loic, Kiri, and Tuk are caught by Quaritch. With their youngsters in harm's way, Jake, Neytiri, and the Medkina set off on a mission to stand up to the people. Quaritch powers Jake to give up, yet seeing his spirit sibling jeopardized, Payakan assaults the whalers, setting off a battle which kills the majority of the group and fundamentally harms the vessel, making it sink. Netiam salvages Loic and Insect, yet is lethally shot. Jake faces Quaritch, who involves Kiri, as a prisoner. At the point when Neytiri does likewise with Bug, Quaritch at first denies his child, yet halts when Neytiri cuts Bug on the chest. Jake, Quaritch, Neytiri, and Tuk end up caught inside the sinking vessel. Jake chokes Quaritch into obviousness and is safeguarded by Loic and Payakan, and Kiri gathers ocean animals to help her save Neytiri and Tuk. Bug finds and protects Quaritch, however passes on him because of his brutality towards the Na'vi and putting his objective to kill Jake's family over being his dad and turning into a decent man, driving him back to rejoin Jake's loved ones. After Netiam's memorial service, Jake and his family choose to for all time stay with the Medkina.